Pisces, stop absorbing everything, try this instead. What if you could feel deeply without losing yourself in the process? And what if today's message gave you the exact tools to make that shift starting right now? If you were born under the sign of Pisces, you already know what it feels like to walk into a room and instantly sense the mood. You know what it is like to carry weight that does not belong to you. You feel what others feel, sometimes before they even realize it themselves. And for most of your life, you have probably been told that this is just who you are. That you are sensitive, that you are emotional, that you need to toughen up. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Your sensitivity is not the problem. The problem is that no one ever taught you how to use it wisely. No one gave you a system for protecting your energy while still honoring your gift. That is exactly what this video is about. Over the next several minutes, you are going to receive 10 powerful practical tips designed specifically for Pisces energy. These are not vague ideas. These are real shifts you can start making today. And each one builds on the last, so stay with me all the way through. The further you go, the more clarity you will find. Let us begin with something that might surprise you. Tip 1. Recognize the difference between your feelings and everyone else's. This is the foundation of everything that follows, and if you do not get this right, nothing else will stick. As a Pisces, you were born with an emotional radar that most people simply do not have. You pick up on energy the way a sponge picks up water. It happens automatically. It happens without your permission. And most of the time, it happens so quickly that you do not even realize it is happening. You walk into a gathering and within minutes you feel anxious, but you were perfectly fine in the car on the way there. You talk to a friend on the phone and hang up feeling drained, even though the conversation was not about anything heavy. You sit next to a stranger on public transport and suddenly feel a wave of sadness that came from nowhere. These are not your emotions. They belong to other people. But because your nervous system absorbs them so efficiently, your brain files them as your own. And that is where the confusion begins. You start making decisions based on feelings that were never yours. You cancel plans because you feel overwhelmed when really you just absorb someone else's stress. You pull away from people you love because their unspoken tension makes you feel like something is wrong between you. You doubt yourself because someone nearby was radiating insecurity, and your system picked it up like a radio signal. The very first step to breaking this pattern is learning to pause and ask yourself one simple question. Is this mine? That is it. 3 words. Is this mine? Before you react to any strong emotion, especially one that seemed to appear out of nowhere, stop and check. Were you feeling this way 5 minutes ago? Were you feeling this way before you entered this space or started this conversation? If the answer is no, then there is a very good chance that what you are experiencing belongs to someone else. You absorbed it. And the beautiful thing is that once you name it, once you recognize it for what it is, it begins to lose its grip. You do not have to process emotions that are not yours. You do not have to fix what is not broken inside you. You simply have to notice and release. Now this takes practice. It will not happen overnight. In the beginning, you might only catch it after the fact. You might realize hours later that the heaviness you carried all afternoon was not yours. That is perfectly fine. The awareness is building. Each time you catch it, you strengthen the muscle. Each time you ask that question, you create a tiny gap between the feeling and your reaction to it. And in that gap, that is where your freedom lives. Some people spend their entire lives reacting to emotions they never questioned. They never stopped to wonder if the sadness was theirs or borrowed. They never considered that their exhaustion might come from absorbing too much rather than doing too much. You now have a different awareness. You now have a tool. Use it. Start today. Start with the very next emotion that catches you off guard. And once you begin to separate your feelings from the ones you absorb, something remarkable happens. You start to see yourself more clearly. You start to understand your own emotional landscape without all the noise. And that clarity, it changes everything. But there is a second layer to this that most people miss, and that is what we are going to explore next. Tip 2. Build a daily energy clearing practice. Now that you understand the difference between your emotions and the ones you absorb, the next step is learning how to release what does not belong to you on a daily basis. Think of it this way. If you worked in a dusty environment every single day, you would not just accept being covered in dust. You would wash it off when you got home. You would take a shower. You would change your clothes. You would not carry yesterday's dust into tomorrow. But that is exactly what most Pisces do with energy. You collect it all day long and never wash it off. Builds up, layer after layer, day after day, and eventually you feel heavy, foggy, unmotivated, and you cannot figure out why. You start to think something is wrong with you. You wonder if maybe you are depressed. You wonder if maybe you are lazy. But the truth is, you are just carrying too much that was never yours to carry in the first place. A daily energy clearing practice does not have to be complicated. It does not require any special equipment or training. It simply requires intention and consistency. One of the simplest methods is water. Water has always been connected to Pisces energy, and there is a reason for that. When you take a shower at the end of the day, do it with awareness. As the water runs over your body, imagine it washing away everything you picked up during the day. Every conversation that left a residue, every mood you absorbed, every tension you carried for someone else. See it flowing down the drain. Feel yourself getting lighter. This is not wishful thinking. This is intentional release. And it works because your mind responds powerfully to imagery and ritual when done with genuine focus. Another method is breath work. Sit quietly for just 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. As you exhale, imagine pushing out all the energy that is not yours. With each breath out, you are returning what you borrowed. You are sending it back to where it came from. After 5 minutes of this, you will feel noticeably different. The weight will lift. The fog will thin. Your own feelings will become clearer because the noise has been turned down. You can also use journaling as a clearing tool. At the end of each day, write down 3 feelings you experienced that day. Then beside each one, write whether you believe it was truly yours or whether you think you absorbed it from someone or somewhere else. Over time, this practice builds incredible self-awareness. You start to notice patterns. Maybe you always feel anxious after talking to a certain person. Maybe you always feel drained after spending time in a particular environment. These are not random occurrences. These are clues. And once you see the pattern, you can prepare for it. You can protect yourself before you walk into those situations. The key here is daily practice. Not once a week. Not when you remember. Daily. Because you absorb energy daily. You encounter other people's emotions daily. So you need to clear daily. Make it as routine as brushing your teeth. It takes only a few minutes, but the difference it makes is profound. You will sleep better. You will think more clearly. You will feel more like yourself than you have in years. And you will finally stop confusing other people's storms for your own. But clearing alone is only half the equation. You also need to learn how to set boundaries before the energy even gets in. And that is a skill most Pisces have never been taught. We are going to talk about that next, but first, if what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Learn to say no without guilt. This might be the most difficult tip on this entire list, and it might also be the most important one for your long-term well-being. As a Pisces, you have an incredibly deep desire to help. You want to ease the pain of the people around you. You want to be there, to show up, to carry whatever needs carrying. And that impulse comes from a genuinely beautiful place inside you. It really does. But here is the hard truth. When you say yes to everyone else, you are saying no to yourself. Every single time. And you have been doing this for so long that you probably do not even notice it anymore. It has become automatic. Someone asks for your time, and you give it even when you are exhausted. Someone asks for your energy, and you offer it even when you have nothing left. Someone asks you to solve their problem, and you step in even when you know it will drain you completely. The word no does not make you selfish. It does not make you cold. It does not make you a bad person. The word no is a complete sentence, and it is one of the most loving things you can say, both to yourself and to the people around you. Because when you say yes out of guilt, you are not truly helping anyone. You are showing up as a depleted version of yourself. You are giving from an empty cup. And eventually that leads to resentment, burnout, and a deep sense of being lost. You lose track of what you want because you have spent so long attending to what everyone else wants. Start small. You do not have to overhaul your entire life overnight. The next time someone asks you to do something and your first inner response is resistance, pay attention to that. That resistance is not laziness. It is wisdom. It is your deeper self telling you that this is not the right use of your energy right now. Honor that. Say something simple like, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I cannot do that right now. No long explanation needed. No apology required. Just a clear, kind, honest no. And here is something that might surprise you. Most people will respect it. The ones who truly care about you will understand. They will not be offended. They will not abandon you. In fact, many of them will respect you more for it because they will see that you value yourself enough to set a boundary. The people who get angry when you set boundaries are usually the ones who are benefiting the most from you having none. And that tells you everything you need to know about those relationships. Over time, saying no gets easier. The guilt fades. The anxiety around it shrinks. And in its place, something powerful grows. A sense of ownership over your own life. A feeling that you are finally driving the car instead of being a passenger. You start to realize that protecting your energy is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And the people, experiences, and opportunities that are truly meant for you, they do not require you to sacrifice yourself to receive them. They flow naturally when you are operating from a place of fullness rather than depletion. Now, once you start protecting your energy through boundaries, you are going to need a way to refill what has been drained over the years. And that brings us to something Pisces often overlooks entirely. Tip 4. Create a sacred space that belongs only to you. Every Pisces needs a physical space that feels like a refuge. Not a shared space. Not a corner of someone else's room. A space that is entirely yours, where the energy is calm, protected, and undisturbed. This might sound like a small thing, but for someone who absorbs the emotional atmosphere of every environment they enter, having one place that feels clean and safe is not a luxury. It is a lifeline. Think about how your day typically unfolds. You move through different spaces, different conversations, different energies. At work, you absorb the stress of deadlines and the tension between coworkers. At home, you might absorb the moods of family members or the heaviness of unresolved conflicts. In public spaces, you pick up on the collective energy of crowds, traffic, noise. By the end of the day, you are carrying fragments of all of it. And if you do not have a place to set it all down, it stays with you. It follows you into your sleep. It greets you in the morning before you have even opened your eyes. Your sacred space does not need to be an entire room. It can be a corner, a chair by a window, a spot in your garden. What matters is that you claim it as yours and you treat it with intention. Keep it clean and uncluttered. Surround it with things that calm your senses. Soft textures, warm lighting, natural elements like plants or stones, or a small dish of water. Whatever speaks to your spirit. This is not about decoration. This is about creating an environment that signals to your nervous system that it is safe to relax, that it is safe to let go, that nothing here requires your vigilance. When you sit in this space, let it be without agenda. You do not need to meditate, though you certainly can. You do not need to journal, though that is welcome too. Sometimes the most healing thing you can do is simply sit and do nothing. Let the silence hold you. Let the stillness work on you. Your body knows how to heal itself when you stop flooding it with external stimulation. Your mind knows how to sort itself out when you give it a quiet room to work in. But you have to provide the conditions. You have to create the container. Many Pisces resist this because they feel guilty taking time for themselves. They feel like they should be doing something productive. They feel like sitting quietly is a waste of time. But nothing could be further from the truth. This is the most productive thing you can do. This is where you recharge. This is where you reconnect with your own feelings, your own thoughts, your own desires. The ones that have been buried under everyone else's noise all day. This is where you remember who you are beneath all the layers you have absorbed. Make a commitment to spend at least 15 minutes in your sacred space every single day. Not when you feel like it. Every day. Treat it like an appointment with yourself that cannot be canceled. Over time, you will notice that you feel more grounded, more centered, more capable of moving through the world without being knocked off balance by every emotion that passes through the air. This space becomes your anchor. And once you have it, you will wonder how you ever survived without it. But having a space to retreat to is only part of the equation. You also need to understand the patterns in your energy, so you can work with them instead of against them. And that is what the next tip is all about. Tip 5. Track your energy patterns throughout the day. Most Pisces operate on a cycle of highs and lows that they never fully understand because they have never taken the time to observe it closely. You know you have times when you feel energized and creative and alive, and you know you have times when you feel heavy and slow and disconnected, but you have probably never mapped it out. You have probably never noticed the rhythm behind it. And without that awareness, you are constantly fighting your own nature instead of flowing with it. Here is what I want you to try. For the next 2 weeks, keep a simple energy log. Every 2 or 3 hours, pause for just a moment and rate your energy on a scale of 1 to 10. Write it down along with the time and a brief note about what you were doing and who you were with. That is all. No elaborate system. Just a quick snapshot of where your energy sits at different points throughout the day. After 2 weeks, look back at your log and you will begin to see patterns emerge. Maybe you consistently feel your highest energy in the early morning hours, before the world starts making demands of you. Maybe you notice a significant dip every afternoon around the same time. Maybe you see that your energy plummets after certain activities or certain interactions. Maybe you discover that you feel most creative late at night when everything is quiet and still. These are not random fluctuations. These are your natural rhythms. And once you can see them clearly, you can start to organize your life around them instead of against them. If you know that your mornings are your peak creative time, stop spending them answering messages and handling administrative tasks. Protect those hours for the work that matters most to you. If you know that you always crash in the afternoon, stop scheduling important meetings or making big decisions during that window. Use that time for lighter tasks, for rest, for your clearing practice. If you know that certain people consistently drain your energy, limit your exposure to them or make sure you have recovery time built in afterward. This is not about being rigid or controlling. It is about being wise. It is about working with the current instead of swimming against it. Pisces energy is fluid by nature. It ebbs and flows like the tide. And just like the tide, it has a predictable pattern once you learn to read it. You would not try to sail against the tide. You would study it, learn its rhythm, and set your course accordingly. That is exactly what you are doing with your energy log. You might also notice something interesting in your tracking. Your energy is often deeply affected by the moon cycle. Pay attention to how you feel during new moons versus full moons. Many Pisces find that their emotional intensity peaks around the full moon, and that new moons bring a sense of quiet introspection. This is not superstition. This is about tuning into natural cycles that your body is already responding to, whether you are conscious of it or not. When you align your activities with these cycles, everything flows more smoothly. You feel less resistance. You accomplish more with less effort. And you stop beating yourself up for having low energy days because you understand that they are part of a larger rhythm that serves you. The information you gather from tracking your energy is going to be essential for the next tip, which is about making a shift that most Pisces find genuinely life-changing. Tip 6. Stop trying to fix everyone and start witnessing instead. This is one of the hardest shifts a Pisces will ever make, and it is also one of the most liberating. You have spent your entire life feeling other people's pain and immediately wanting to make it better. When someone you love is hurting, every fiber of your being screams at you to fix it, to step in, to take their pain away, to carry it for them if you have to. And you have done this over and over and over again, often at great cost to your own health and happiness. But here is what nobody ever told you. Fixing is not the same as loving. In fact, trying to fix people can actually be a subtle form of control. Comes from a good place, absolutely. But when you rush in to solve someone's problem, you are also sending them an unspoken message that says, I do not trust you to handle this on your own. You are not strong enough. You need me to step in. And that message, no matter how well-intentioned, can actually keep people stuck. It can prevent them from developing their own strength. It can create dependency. And it can leave you completely exhausted because you are doing emotional labor that was never yours to do. The alternative is witnessing. Witnessing means being fully present with someone in their pain without trying to change it. It means sitting beside them and saying, through your presence alone, I see you. I hear you. I am here. And I trust you to find your way through this. That is an incredibly powerful gift. Far more powerful than any advice you could give or any problem you could solve. Because when you witness someone without trying to fix them, you honor their autonomy. You respect their journey. You hold space for them to feel what they need to feel and discover what they need to discover on their own timeline. This does not mean you become cold or distant. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you care differently. You care in a way that does not deplete you. You care in a way that actually empowers the other person instead of creating dependency. You learn to sit with discomfort, both theirs and your own, without rushing to make it go away. And this is incredibly uncomfortable at first. Your instinct will scream at you to do something, to say the right thing, to offer a solution. But if you can breathe through that urge and simply be present, something magical happens. The other person often finds their own answer. They process their own emotion. They grow stronger, and you walk away with your energy intact. Practice this with small moments first. When a friend complains about a bad day, resist the urge to offer solutions. Just listen. Just nod. Just say, "That sounds really difficult." When a family member is stressed, do not rush in with a plan. Just sit with them. Let the silence be okay. Let their feelings exist without you needing to transform them into something more comfortable. Over time, this practice rewires your response pattern. You move from reflexive fixing to conscious witnessing, and you will be amazed at how much lighter you feel. You will be amazed at how much more energy you have. You will be amazed at how your relationships actually deepen because people feel truly seen by you instead of managed. This shift also reveals something important about your own patterns. When you stop trying to fix others, you start to see where the impulse comes from. Often it comes from a deep fear that if you are not useful, you will not be loved. That if you do not earn your place through service, you will be abandoned. These are old beliefs often formed in childhood, and they deserve your attention. They deserve your compassion, but they do not deserve to run your life anymore. The next tip builds directly on this one, and it addresses something that Pisces almost never talk about openly. Tip 7. Honor your need for solitude without apology. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude, and as a Pisces, understanding that difference might be one of the most important distinctions you ever make. Loneliness is the pain of feeling disconnected against your will. Solitude is the nourishment of choosing to be alone with intention. They are not the same thing at all. And yet, in a world that constantly pushes you to be social, to be available, to be connected at all hours of the day, choosing solitude can feel like something to be ashamed of, like something to hide, like something that means there is something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Your need for solitude is not a flaw. It is a feature. It is built into your design. As someone who absorbs the energy of everyone around you, time alone is not optional. It is essential. It is how you digest all the emotional information you have taken in. It is how you sort through what is yours and what is not. It is how you hear your own voice again after spending the day listening to everyone else's. Without regular solitude, you cannot function at your best. It is that simple. But many Pisces struggle with this because they feel guilty about needing alone time. They worry that people will think they are antisocial. They worry that their partner or their friends or their family will feel rejected. They worry that wanting to be alone means they are pushing people away. And so they force themselves to be present even when every cell in their body is begging for quiet. They show up to social events when they are already running on empty. They stay on the phone when they desperately need silence. They sacrifice their own well-being to avoid the discomfort of disappointing someone else. This has to stop, and it stops with a simple internal shift. You have to start seeing your solitude not as something you are taking from others, but as something you are giving to yourself, and ultimately as something you are giving to them, because the version of you that emerges from meaningful time alone is the best version of you. That is the version that can truly show up for the people you love. That is the version that has something real to offer. The depleted, overstimulated, burned out version of you. That version cannot help anyone, not even yourself. Start by communicating your needs clearly and kindly. You do not need to justify or explain at length. Something as simple as, "I need some quiet time to recharge, and then I will be fully present with you," is enough. Most people will understand, and those who do not understand, give them time. They are operating from a different energetic blueprint. They may not need solitude the way you do, but that does not make your need any less valid. It simply means you operate differently, and honoring that difference is an act of self-respect. Build solitude into your schedule the way you would build in any other important commitment. Block out time on your calendar if you need to. Make it non-negotiable. Whether it is an hour in the morning before anyone wakes up, or an evening walk alone, or a weekend afternoon with no plans, protect that time fiercely. You are not being difficult. You are being wise. You are investing in your own stability so that when you do show up for the world, you show up whole. And when you start honoring this need regularly, you will notice something beautiful. Your creativity returns. Your intuition sharpens. Your emotional clarity improves. You stop feeling foggy and overwhelmed and start feeling centered and alive. Solitude for a Pisces is not a retreat from life. It is a preparation for life. It is where you gather the resources you need to move through the world with grace instead of exhaustion. Now there is a common trap that Pisces fall into even when they are doing all of this inner work, and it is important enough to deserve its own section. Tip 8. Release the fantasy and embrace what is actually in front of you. Pisces has a rich and vivid inner world. Your imagination is one of your greatest gifts. You can envision possibilities that others cannot even begin to conceive. You can dream in full color, with texture and sound and emotion. You can create entire worlds inside your mind. And this is a truly beautiful capacity, but it also comes with a shadow side that can quietly sabotage your life if you are not aware of it. The shadow side of imagination is fantasy, not the healthy kind of dreaming that inspires action, but the kind that becomes a substitute for reality. The kind where you spend so much time in your head imagining how things could be, that you never fully engage with how things actually are. You fantasize about the perfect relationship instead of doing the work to improve the one you are in. You dream about the ideal career instead of taking the next practical step in the one you have. You imagine a future version of your life that is beautiful and complete, while neglecting the present moment that needs your attention. This is not laziness. This is a coping mechanism. When reality feels harsh or disappointing or overwhelming, your natural response as a Pisces is to retreat into the world inside your head where everything is softer and more beautiful. It is a form of self-protection, and in small doses it is perfectly healthy. But when it becomes your default mode, when you spend more time in the fantasy than in the real world, it creates a dangerous gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap breeds frustration, restlessness, and a persistent feeling that life is passing you by. The antidote is not to kill your imagination. Please do not misunderstand me. Your imagination is sacred. The antidote is to bring that imaginative power into the present moment. Instead of using it to escape reality, use it to enhance reality. When you are washing the dishes, be fully there. Notice the warmth of the water, the way the light catches the soap bubbles, the simple satisfaction of a clean plate. When you are talking to someone, be fully present with them. See them as they are, not as you wish they were. Listen to what they are actually saying, not what you imagine they mean. This practice is called grounding, and for a Pisces, it is absolutely vital. You have spent most of your life floating between emotions, between worlds, between who you are and who you think you should be. Grounding brings you back down to earth. It connects you to the physical, tangible reality of your life. And from that grounded place, you can actually build something real. You can take concrete steps. You can make practical decisions. You can create a life that matches the beauty of your inner vision, because you are finally present enough to do the work. One powerful grounding technique is to engage your 5 senses deliberately. Right now, wherever you are, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This simple exercise pulls you out of your head and into your body. It reminds you that you are here in this moment in this physical form. And this moment is where your power lives. Not in yesterday's memories, not in tomorrow's dreams. Right here, right now. When you start living more in reality and less in fantasy, something remarkable shifts. Your relationships become more authentic because you are seeing people as they are. Your goals become more achievable because they are grounded in practical steps. Your satisfaction with life increases because you are actually experiencing it instead of imagining a better version from a distance. You trade the temporary comfort of fantasy for the lasting fulfillment of presence, and that is a trade worth making. The next tip might be the most practical one yet, and it addresses something that quietly drains Pisces energy every single day. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, The 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Curate what you allow into your senses. You already know that you absorb energy from people. But what many Pisces do not fully realize is that you also absorb energy from everything you consume through your senses. The shows you watch, the music you listen to, the news you read, the social media you scroll through, the conversations you overhear. Every single input leaves a mark on your emotional state. And if you are not intentional about what you allow in, you are essentially letting the world pour whatever it wants into your cup without any filter. Think about the last time you watched a deeply sad or violent film. How did you feel afterward? Not just in the moment, but hours later. The next morning, you probably carried residue from that experience for days, because you did not just watch it, you felt it. Your system processed it as though it were happening to you. The character's pain became your pain. Their fear became your fear. That is the Pisces experience. And while it makes you incredibly empathetic and deeply connected to art and storytelling, it also means that you have to be extremely selective about what you expose yourself to. This is not about avoidance. This is not about building a bubble and hiding from the world. This is about conscious curation. You would not eat food that you knew would make you sick, even if everyone around you is eating it without any problem. Your energetic diet works the same way. What is tolerable for others might be genuinely harmful for you. And there is no weakness in acknowledging that. There is only wisdom. Start by auditing your inputs. Look at what you consume on a daily basis. What do you watch before bed? What do you listen to during your commute? What is the first thing you look at when you wake up? Is it the news full of conflict and fear? Is it social media, full of comparison and outrage? Is it a series full of tension and darkness? Pay attention to how each of these inputs makes you feel. Not how they should make you feel, but how they actually make you feel in your body. Where do you feel them? Do they leave you lighter or heavier? Then make adjustments. Replace the inputs that drain you with ones that nourish you. This does not mean you can only consume positive content. That would be unrealistic and dishonest. But it means you become intentional. You choose the emotionally heavy film when you have the capacity to process it, not when you are already running on empty. You listen to music that lifts you during your low-energy hours and save the melancholy for when you are grounded enough to enjoy it without drowning in it. You set time limits on news and social media consumption, not because you are uninformed, but because you understand that your system processes this information differently than most people's. Pay special attention to what you consume right before sleep and right after waking. These are your most vulnerable windows. Your subconscious is most receptive during these transitions, and whatever you feed it will shape your dreams, your mood, and the energy you carry into or out of the day. Choose gentle, calming inputs during these times. Soft music, peaceful imagery, words that inspire rather than agitate. Your sleep quality will improve. Your mornings will feel less heavy, and you will start the day from a place of choice rather than reaction. You might find that as you curate your inputs more carefully, some people around you do not understand. They might think you are being overly sensitive or dramatic. That is okay. You are not doing this for them. You are doing this for you, and the results will speak for themselves. When you are calmer, more centered, more emotionally available, the people around you benefit from that too, even if they never understand the methods behind it. This brings us to the final tip, which ties everything together in a way you might not expect. Tip 10. Trust your intuition as a legitimate form of intelligence. This is the tip that sits at the very heart of who you are as a Pisces, and it might be the one you have struggled with the most. Because the world you live in prizes logic. It prizes data. It prizes things that can be measured, quantified, and proven. And your primary way of knowing, your intuition, does not fit neatly into any of those categories. You have spent your entire life knowing things without being able to explain how you know them. You have felt the truth of a situation in your bones before any evidence appeared to confirm it. You have sensed when someone was lying. You have known when something was about to go wrong. You have felt pulled towards certain people or opportunities for reasons you could not articulate. And because you could not explain it, you learned to dismiss it. You learned to override it with logic. You learned to ignore that inner voice because it could not produce a spreadsheet or a citation to back itself up. And every single time you overrode your intuition, you paid for it. Not always immediately. Sometimes the consequences took weeks or months or even years to appear, but they always appeared. And when they did, you looked back and realized, I knew all along. I just did not trust myself. This pattern ends today. Not because I am telling you to trust your intuition, but because you have been given enough evidence by your own life to know that it works. How many times has your gut been right? How many times did you have a feeling about someone that turned out to be accurate? How many times did you sense a shift before it happened? If you are being honest, the answer is more times than you can count. That is not coincidence. That is not luck. That is a form of intelligence that is just as valid as logic, just as reliable as data, and just as worthy of your trust. But trusting your intuition does not mean abandoning reason entirely. It means creating a partnership between the two. Let your intuition guide you to the questions worth asking. Then use your logical mind to evaluate the answers. Let your gut tell you whether something feels right. Then use practical thinking to figure out the next step. This is not either or. This is both. And when these two forms of intelligence work together, you become almost unstoppable. You make decisions faster. You avoid pitfalls that others walk straight into. You find paths that do not show up on any map because they were visible only to the kind of knowing that you carry inside you. Start by giving your intuition small opportunities to prove itself. The next time you have a feeling about something, a sense that you should take a different route or call someone, or avoid a particular situation, follow it. Do not analyze it to death. Just follow it and see what happens. Keep a record of these moments. Over time, you will build a body of evidence that your intuition is trustworthy, and that evidence will give you the confidence to trust it in bigger and bigger decisions. Your intuition is your birthright as a Pisces. It is not a quirk. It is not a weakness. It is perhaps the single greatest tool you possess. And when you finally learn to trust it fully, the whole trajectory of your life shifts. Doors open that you did not know existed. Solutions appear that logic alone could never have found. Relationships deepen because you can sense what is unspoken. Opportunities arrive at exactly the right time because you followed a feeling instead of a formula. And here is the part that brings it all full circle. Every tip in this video has been building toward this moment. Separating your feelings from others, clearing your energy, setting boundaries, creating sacred space, tracking your rhythms, witnessing instead of fixing, honoring solitude, grounding in reality, curating your inputs. All of these practices create the conditions in which your intuition can be heard clearly. They remove the noise. They clear the channel. And when the channel is clear, what comes through is nothing short of extraordinary. If you have made it this far, I want you to know something important. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not broken, and you do not need to be fixed. You are a deeply feeling, deeply knowing, deeply caring human being who was given gifts that most of the world does not understand. And for a long time that has felt like a burden. It has felt like something to apologize for and hide from view. But that time is over now. You are waking up to the truth of who you are. And that truth is powerful. That truth is exactly what this world needs. Not less of you, but more of you. The real you. The you that exists beneath all the absorbed emotions and borrowed pain and self-doubt. That version of you is whole. That version of you is strong. That version of you has been waiting patiently for this exact moment. Every single tip in this video is a step toward uncovering that version. Not becoming someone new, but returning to someone you have always been. The person who feels deeply and moves through the world with grace. The person who senses what others miss and trusts what they know. The person who can hold space for tremendous emotion without being swallowed by it. That person is you. And that person is ready. You do not need to implement all 10 tips at once. Start with one. The one that spoke to you the loudest. The one that made you pause or take a deeper breath. Build from there. Be patient with yourself. You are rewriting patterns that have been running for decades. It will not happen overnight, but it will happen one choice at a time, one breath at a time, one boundary at a time. The path builds itself as you walk it. All you have to do is begin. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.